Hi, I'm jumping on again. I made a video a while back about why it's so hard to exit from the sexual exploitation industry, from prostitution and porn. And I'm happy this is one of my most watched videos. I think I made a lot of important points, but I forgot to emphasize one that's really important. And that might even be one of the hardest to solve. One that would not be solved by fixing poverty alone. Which is, if you spend sometimes even just some months or some years, doesn't always have to be a decade or two, in the sexual exploitation industry, this does, for nearly all people, most of them women, profoundly damage your self-esteem, your self-image, your body image, and not too rarely your will to live and your trust in other people, especially men, but often women as well. And you get perversely good at enduring really horrific things that nobody should have to go through, as good as you can while it's slowly destroying you. And this is not unlike soldiers in war zones who get good at detecting danger. It's not perfectly analogous because I know that soldiers pose a danger to other people, while prostitute individuals, by virtue of being prostituted, do not. Now, it's likely statistically that you already had communicated to you in childhood or young adulthood that you are not a fully complex human being with versatile capacity to take on different roles in society, connect with people, be praised and valued and loved for who you are. It's not a stereotype that commercially sexually exploited people have experienced neglect, emotional, financial, and physical sexual violence in their past. But even if you haven't, the industry is likely to mold you into somebody who is going to have a hard time in regular society. Like I said, you're going to have a hard time trusting people. I've heard this from so many commercial sexual abuse survivors who talk about, and this is very, very hard to talk about with people who haven't lived it. And I haven't. This is my best attempt at repeating what I've read and heard over and over from survivors, which is that it's scary to leave the industry, because as bad as it is, just like an abusive relationship, as bad as it is, it's familiar. You know the rules. You know when you're likely to get shouted at, insulted, beat at, worse. You know how to lower the chances of that happening. If you go into a new workplace or social group where people haven't lived that way, they haven't feared for their lives routinely, they haven't had to placate somebody who could in the next moment rob or rape you, it can be hard to connect. It can be hard to trust. It's anxiety-inducing. It can be anxiety-inducing when people are nice to you, because you expect that there is something attached, that they will expect something of you, that good things are not given to you because somebody cares or somebody's charitable or generous or genuinely just likes you. You expect a quid pro quo. And it's disorienting when that doesn't happen, and you're just waiting for the shoe to drop. There's something incredibly, just like people who have experienced abusive relationships and they're in a healthy one. The healthy one is anxiety-inducing. It's unfamiliar. It takes very long, and sometimes it's not truly possible to reacclimatize. It's the other part that the industry is likely to change if there wasn't already sort of the way paved by your early childhood experiences, which is, again, your self-image, your body image. A lot of women in the industry think they're worth less. They think they don't deserve better. Suicidality is not unusual, not the acute kind where you're gonna jump off a building or anything like that, but the kind where you're thinking, if the next dose I take is laced with something and I overdose, okay. If the next guy murders me, that's terrifying, and at the same time, kind of waiting for that to happen. This is really not something unusual that I've heard from survivors at a certain stage in the industry, to arrive at that kind of passive suicidality, where you think it wouldn't be so bad if that happened, even if the means are, horrific. And to rebuild a positive self-image, or even a neutral one, an okay neutral one, is so hard. And leaving the sex industry likely challenges you to do that. And it is a significant barrier to leaving the industry if you think you're worthless. You deserve prostitution, you deserve violence, you deserve drugs, you deserve mortal danger. You don't deserve better. And you can't picture ever doing something else. You think this is what you're good for. This is where you belong. You think you're human scum. You belong underneath the boot of society, underneath the boot of men. And women who have managed to leave quite frequently talk about, at least amongst themselves, they've only in recent years really come out more publicly and try to explain this to us who haven't been through this. They say, I've been out sometimes 10 years and I think about going back, not because I want to, not because it's good for me. I understand intellectually how horrific it was and that I don't deserve it. But there's a part of me that thinks this is like going home. This is where I belong. I am faking it, like incredible levels of imposter syndrome. This society will never accept me. Most people, if they found out what I did, they would not accept me. If I went back into the industry, it would be awful, but it would be familiar. I know the routines. I know the people. I know how to fit in. And in this regular society, there's still a part of me that thinks I don't belong. This is so, so, so common. And just like a woman who thinks like she deserves to be beaten, or a person who thinks they deserve to be bullied by their boss, or a person who thinks it's an honor to die in someone else's war. Sometimes the hardest thing of getting somebody out of there is persuading them that they do deserve better, that they can do something else, there is something else. To find that will to try again and make that incredible. And also, if you've been numbing yourself with drugs and dissociation for years, when you exit, and that might involve detoxing and all that thing, that might involve therapy, you are going to go through the pain that has been, increasing, that has been collecting inside of you. When you exit, that's what's waiting at the door. That's a long, long corridor that you have to go through before you can leave. And I do understand why countless people, even like in the stupor of trauma, kind of realize that that's the corridor they have to go through. And they say, I don't think I can do it. Well, I don't think I deserve it. I don't think I deserve to come through that tunnel. And that's another incredibly hard, difficult, painful reason why many people struggle and some never leave the industry.